Now, the NBA is at a very interesting, unique space and time right now where they're going through a transition, while at the same time tweaking with the NBA product to make it interesting enough for new fans as well as old to keep them satisfied. But the more they modernize the game, it makes it very appealing on an international level, and it also allows for international players to flourish. But at the same time, the game has always been marketed with a little bit American swag. And that's a big issue the league is facing. You see, Adam Silver, he always mentions international soccer, leagues like the English Premiership. But one thing that's the main difference is that the English Premiership's audience is used to international players sort of being the face of their league. Guys from Argentina, Brazil, Portugal, like Cristiano Ronaldo, and even French players. But the NBA, on the other hand, has always had an issue marketing the international star to the American audience, who's really used to the NBA having an American-born player as the figurehead of the league. Call it what you want, American exceptionalism, it is what it is. And it's so embedded into the NBA that even if you look at their drafts, particularly the ones that took place in the early 90s and even the 80s, when they had drafted Sabonis to the Portland Trail Blazers, there was an elderly lady that had the most disgust in her face that a European player actually got drafted. That's how embedded it is that the NBA game is always represented mostly American-born players. And the NBA present day is going to have to work real diligently with their media partners on how to market the international stars and make the American audience care about it, because the American audience is always dictated what's quote unquote at the forefront of things, and the rest of the world tends to follow. And there's so many forces here at play, because you have stars like Ja Morant, Zion Williams not quite working out as well. They had a lot of false starts to their careers. And even Anthony Edwards, at times, he's too up and down, but the media loves him at the end of the day. It's players like him, Tyler Hero. They understand how to market the game around those kind of players, but they just need the skill set and the winning to match. But the league is struggling to pass the baton to their younger players because it seems like they don't want it. Let's check out what Anthony Edwards has said when they asked him about being the face of the league.
Question right here.
Do you consider yourself the top candidate to be the next face of the league?
No, not really.
Why?
That's what they got Wemby for.
Now, Edwards understands what really comes with that. Even though all the clout and money, at the same time, it's going to be a toned down version of himself. He's going to have to watch what he says, all that cursing during those post-game interviews. They're going to have to tamper him down a little bit. And I don't think Edwards really wants that smoke. And plus, he loves the Instagram thotties. He's not going to want to let go of that quite yet. But again, the media loves him. And we all cannot cap here. The media really understands how to market the game off the quote-unquote Black American swag. The NBA product overall has been adapted here in the United States from the quote-unquote Black American style. And even Giannis had made mention of this when they asked him a few years ago about being the face of the league. Let's check it out.
Lately, people have told me, the closest people, my family, my girlfriend, my mom, my brothers, people say that I cannot be the face of the league because I'm not American. I don't have the American culture in me. I sat back and thought about that. Should I have a little bit more American swag? Should I come with a suit to the game? Should I be more Americanized? But man, if I can't be the face of the league being me, I don't want to be the face of the league. That's pretty much it.
And Giannis is 100% right about that. Notice how he says, should I be more Americanized? What does he really mean by that? See, once again, quote unquote, the league has been marketed and promoted, and I would say the past 30 years with the quote unquote Black American swag. That's really what he means right there. He's a brother, but he's from another country and he's from another culture. He's Greek. He does not have that Black American swag. And that's really what the media understands how to market the game around. And it's just not the style of the brothers. It's also just the style of the American-born player. You could look at guys like Tyler Hero. If he had the same talent level as Anthony Edwards, they'll be marketing the game around him. But when it comes to guys like Luka and Wemby, they don't necessarily have the cultural cachet, regardless of their skin color or quote-unquote race. It's a cultural thing. the American audience is used to being marketed the game by a quote unquote American born player. And that's going to be the struggle that the league is going to have along with their media partners in promoting the game. And Stephen A. Smith at ESPN kind of alluded to this. You guys check it out.
My personal opinion is I don't believe an international player can be the face of the NBA. I know they're global iconic figures, their popularity extends globally, but the NBA is an American-born sport. And it needs to resonate in America. And if it doesn't resonate in America, then it's not going to matter to America how you resonate beyond.
And that's a problem right there for the NBA, because the American audience is really what dictates what's cool for other people to follow around the world. It is what it is. You could call it American exceptionalism. And you could see it play out no further than in the past Olympics, where a lot more people were tuned in and the league had made sure that the best had came out, like Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. The best of the best was out there on the court. And that's because the growing narrative of the international players kind of coming close to what the Americans can do on the court, that narrative was getting bigger and bigger, and it was actually put to the test in this year's Olympics. And make no mistake about it, that American exceptionalism shows up a lot when the Olympics are on. The expectations of Team USA taking the gold, no doubt.
And so that's just my mentality, UD. That's how I think about it. Not to say they can't be popular or what have you, but I just think about it that way.
He thinks about it that way because he understands ESPN and other large media conglomerates only understand how to market the game with the Michael Jordans, the Kobes, even an American-born player with no quote-unquote style like that, even Larry Bird. He had flair on the court. He loves to talk shit. That's how it is. We Americans, we love to hang our nuts. Let's not front about that. But when it comes to streaming, having an international audience is going to be key to keep up the ratings, especially for Adam Silver. So he understands that. But once again, the conundrum the league is having is that the more finesse, the more skilled the game gets, the more the international players will flourish. But yet the league and the media partners do not know how to market the game around those players. It's really only been proven to be marketed well under the quote-unquote Black American or American swag. And this has been an ongoing issue for the NBA since the early 90s, when Hakeem Olajuwon was clearly the best player in the league, but yet they had no idea how to market him, especially when Michael Jordan had first left. And we could see it play out with Giannis, Embiid, and plenty of others. Even Luka and Wemby, in a way, with their early dominance in the league, we haven't seen the same marketing on the level of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. The cachet is a lot different, or even guys like Allen Iverson, which the league did not even want to market like that. It's just a different type of energy. And the coolness of the American-born players, particularly the brothers, is what really has been proven to work for the league as far as marketing it. You look at guys like Ja Morant and the energy he brought, especially gaining the youth. And when I say youth, I mean kids that are from 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up until, I would say, 18 or 21. They were very attracted to the swagger and just the overall on-court presence of Ja Morant. And it was very organic, especially on social media. The international players do not necessarily have that. They're more professionalized at a very young age, and they haven't really been brought up in that type of ecosystem. The American-born players coming through the amateur circuits here in the States, they go through the NIL programs. There's a lot of marketing. There's a lot of highlight reels. There's Overtime Elite, a lot of social media companies that are there to actually market these kids. Every time they score a bucket, they're looking for the camera to show some flair. And the international players just do not have that. And that is part of marketing the game. Look at LaMelo Ball's overall aura and compare it to the guys that they're trying to make the face of the league, like Wemby and Luka. It's night and day. So it is what it is. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Once again, for streaming, gaining an international audience is key, but at the same time, the international players cannot really resonate when you market the league to an American audience, which dictates the coolness for the rest of the world to follow.